spiritual and religious. I understand spirituality as our personal experiences of being alive and responsive and immersed in the living world. Those moments of breathtaking, tear-inducing, deep peace connections to the cosmos. These experiences are available to anyone, and they might arrive unasked for or be unexpected, or they could be cultivated through meditation and other practices. Religion is a little different. Religion is not curated spiritual practices on demand, but a framework for living, a guide to help us understand the cosmos and our place in it and how we might live out that understanding. Religion helps us place ourselves in a meaningful context. Now, the stories of religion may be narrow, Jesus and Jesus alone as the Savior, or broad, that dramatic panorama of Hindu gods and goddesses. And these stories illuminate the lives of the people in those religions. They light a path or just a general direction for people to follow. The stories connect people to one another and support people when they struggle. Religion provides a communal context for meaning and understanding. Spirituality is personal. It's our spirit, responding to the greater whole and experience of the mind, body, and emotions. Religion can help name the personal experience and places that particular moment into the universal. As Unitarian Universalists, we don't believe we have found the one right way to live in the world, because there is no one right way to live in the world. There's no single story or truth. And so that's where it gets tricky, because the bells ringing of finding this religion, one that allows me to follow my own path, can morph it into being a religion all about me, my freedom, my choices. Like one of our Canadian ancestors, Margaret Benedictson, who was part of the Unitarian tradition in Manitoba in the late 19th century, and she once said, "I take my religion like I take my fish. I eat the meat, but leave the bones." I know I am not the only UU who has read ahead in the hymns, so that I didn't sing anything I don't agree with. There is a joy in being part of a free-thinking community, to be sure, but it does have its limitations. It's hard to go deep in a religious tradition that prides itself on theological openness. We are reluctant to define what we hold in common. And when the shared theology is not apparent, the default connection becomes cultural. In our case, white, middle class, on the left. And we often mistake white culture for UU culture. My American colleague Cheryl Walker speaks her delight at finding Unitarian Universalism as an adult, a welcoming faith that allowed her in as an individual, giving her both faith and freedom. But over time, she realized that Unitarian Universalism wasn't as welcoming as she had first experienced, that the theological individualism created a focus on white culture, and Cheryl began to feel that she had to leave part of her identity as a Black woman at the door. And she says, "True community doesn't happen unless everyone is willing to give up some of their identity as an individual to take on the identity of the group. If that doesn't happen, then we are merely a group of individuals sharing a common space, but not becoming a community." Cheryl says it doesn't mean going to the extremes of the same clothing, or praying the same, or even believing the same. But it does mean moving the focus from individualism to the concept of shared community, in which everyone gives up a little so that we can gain a lot. Everyone gives up a little so we can gain a lot. I no longer read ahead in the hymnal, and not just because I'm the minister. I no longer read ahead because over the years I realized it doesn't matter if I agree with the words. I sing because we sing. Because words that don't mean anything to me may mean so much to someone else. And that person should be able to hear them sung with the full power of our community. because it isn't just about me, but about us. And this is, I've come to realize, why I'm spiritual and religious. I cherish the spiritual experiences I have had where I feel so connected to the larger whole. But I also need a community of meaning. I need a tradition that provides a framework that helps me be myself. And I need to be part of a community that is about more than myself, that tells me stories that surprise me, that give me a fresh perspective, that take me out of myself into a shared life, into the whole, that reminds me it's not all about me. I need to belong. While UU culture is embedded in white culture, it doesn't have to be. The principles and sources and aspirations are bigger than one pale way of being in the world. Our theology is expansive, yes, but it has boundaries, it has a shape. It's rooted in the earth, in science and knowledge. It rises up to open to the universe, to the divine, to the mystery. It looks like a chalice, ready to be filled by the beauty of each one of us and strong enough to hold all of us together. Chalice communities can be more than people sharing space. If we learn to let go a little, to trust shared wisdom, let go of cultural norms to focus on shared theology, we can make the shift from my way to the common way. There's power there in the common way, learning to live into the interdependence of all living things, learning how to live together as a community. May we each give up a little to gain a lot. May we all find belonging here in this chalice community, and may we be spiritual and religious. So say we all.